Winning Facebook, engaging 3 billion users looking for something to do. Hello, everyone. My name is Tessa. I am the director of marketing at IdeaPros, and I have Simon with me. This is Simon Solotko, and he is our Chief Marketing Officer at IdeaPros. And today we're covering an awesome topic, one of my favorite, which is Facebook and how to engage with those users over there through interest groups. And we have two guests on today. Two of our partners are on, and we'll have them towards the end of the show today. So let us know that you're live with the hashtag live, or if you're catching the replay, hashtag replay. Hi, Odin. Hi, Jason. Barry, thank you guys so much for being here. One of the things that amazes me is how many people are actually on Facebook. And right now, as of first quarter 2021, Facebook has roughly 2.85 billion active users per month. It's just it's amazing to me. It is the number one the biggest social network worldwide. So how do we tap into that audience, Simon, to get our business to grow?
Well, Tessa, there are lots of ways to be a business, be an individual. And a big topic today we'll discuss is how to form communities of interest on Facebook by participating in and sometimes administering Facebook groups. So there is a combination of tactics you can employ that involve community, involve advertising, involve your own persona. But groups are a way to really help you validate, first of all, that the kinds of things you're thinking about are actual concerns in a community of interest, and for you to find initial folks to buddy up with and form a community with who might ultimately be your customers. Now, it's tricky to pull this off in a way that adds to your credibility rather than detracting from it. So we're going to discuss some of that today. And today we have two special guests who are also running their own Facebook groups, who are IdeaPros partners. And so we'll have those folks tell their stories.
Absolutely. Well, so Simon, just obviously we have a lot of people who are from Facebook, but what exactly is a Facebook group?
Sure. I like to think of a Facebook group as a community style forum with shared interests. Now, what's interesting is Facebook had the wall and it had groups of friends, and it kind of took this concept and made groups, but within that paradigm. So it's not the only way one can form a community forum. And many of us who were with the internet from the early days of AOL, AOL had, and I wasn't one of those people, but I was exposed. It was there. But AOL had these, group interest forums. And then bulletin boards had group interest forums, which were generally devoted to one topic or another, or had multiple topics to which they were devoted. And this whole paradigm has evolved through time. So the cool thing about groups is most people are used to engaging in this kind of way online. Mm-hmm. And a lot of Facebook activity is driven through groups. And a lot of people belong to groups, and many of you belong to groups. So we're not going to hit it too hard. We're going to try to get into some of the trickier ideas contained in these tactics.
Yes, and I want to mention that most of people who come to the groups are generally trying to solve a problem when they come to a group. So there's all of these, there's auto groups about how to do repairs on your cars. Like, there is a reason why they're there, because they're solving a problem, or they want to find how to do something faster, or they want to chit chat about how, experiences and whatnot. So I had to say that, because very much like the old forums, they come with a purpose.
And for me, I have things I'm interested in that I want in my feed, because I don't like a lot of the things in my feed, right? A lot of the news stories and stuff that isn't relevant to me. One of the powers of groups is they are self-identified by users. Mm-hmm. And so users find these groups, and that's actually tricky to stumble upon the right group for you. But somehow or another, users seem to discover them over time. And when they do, they then self-identify, they like a group. And through their engagement with that group, Facebook will show them more or less posts that do come from that group. If you are engaged with a group, and if you are engaging with those posts, Facebook is going to show you a lot of them. Why is that important? Because the people who are most interested in a topic are most likely to join a group and are therefore then most likely to engage with those posts and to continue to see them, which is why it's valuable if you're trying to find audiences to go out and join and then ultimately to be engaged with those groups, because people see that content and it's a lot cheaper than buying all of those opportunities for engagement. You essentially can get them for elbow grease for your own effort. And it's a lot of elbow grease to stay involved in a community. It involves some emotional energy.
Ooh, yes, it is. So you could own a Facebook group, or you don't own anything. Facebook owns everything, which is when
you administer a group. There's an administrative function, and then you can extend that to others.
Exactly, which, and some people will say, is that a good way to invest your time with a group that is managed by Facebook? At any time they can take a group away, or they can shut you down or put you in Facebook jail, right? So one thing to know is
they can do that with ads too, right?
Yes, exactly. No, it's just another outlet. So you still want to do the other approaches. You want to have your email marketing, you want to have text marketing and other ways to get in touch with your clients for sure. But when you have this Facebook group, now you have an audience of people that you resonate with, and your product or app is going to resonate with down the road, because they are going to be interested in it. And we're going to talk to a couple of our guests who did find groups and participated in groups because it wasn't directly related to their app, but they knew what pain point they were solving, and they were able to start this group without even having an app in place. I just have to.
No, that's exactly right, Tessa. And I'm going to do a quick definitional step. So definitional step 1 is that the kinds of things that are legitimate content for a Facebook group are any kind of normal post. And if you're a group administrator, you actually get some posting functions that aren't available to individuals that look a little more like brand pages. In addition to that, the administrative function can be extended to multiple people, so you can share the load. Administrators have the power to potentially exclude a user in the case of a private group, or to exclude specific content and delete specific content. So you do have a fair amount of influence if you are an administrator. Now, you don't have to start life that way. You can simply start life as a participant.
Absolutely. And any of you that have seen our show on the C method, the study, engage, and educate for Facebook, it goes into that and how to find groups and influencers. And so definitely check out that show, and hopefully Leticia can link that show in this post for you guys. But we're watching it kind of organically grow with a closed group, so a private group. The people actually are filling out a form. Most often you don't have to have that on your group, but they're going to answer a couple questions. So you have an opportunity to see what type of person you're bringing into the group. You can also ask for email address. So you can build your email address in your group. Some people like to ask for email. Some people don't. They feel like it's a barrier for somebody to join, or they offer a freebie when you're joining, so that you get, this guide to, we're going to talk about dating. So it would be like, guide to dating in 2021 or whatever it is, right? You're going to offer them something for getting their email address if you want. So I just wanted to make sure we covered some of those. Now, Simon, what do you want to go into next? Do you want to talk about challenges?
Well, let's talk about the opportunities with Facebook groups first, because there are lots of potential opportunities with them, and then we'll potentially talk about some of the challenges. So, one of the opportunities with Facebook groups is you get to involve yourself with individuals who are able to validate or not validate what you think is important to that community. And so this can often get very granular. You're able to create your own posts as a member of a group or as an administrator, and get really direct feedback on ideas, concepts, or often even products. The neat thing about Facebook groups is they grow organically by crowdsourcing content. Other people can post in the group if they have those permissions. In general is one of the most important ways groups grow, is because other people post cool content, and that alleviates the burden on the administrator and keeps it interesting for folks who are scrolling on their wall. It tends to be more relevant to users and garner more attention in their feed than, say, stuff that isn't relevant to them. And again, they self-select. It is an opportunity to build a reputation
Yes.
As well as relationships, actual relationships with actual people who might actually be your customers at some point. And it's an opportunity, as Tessa said, to start to build your own database. If you're an administrator, you could ask people for their email address. You have the opportunity to at least say who you are and potentially say very directly who you are and what you do. But usually groups have guidelines, and those guidelines are set in those early steps that Tessa outlined. And, it's important and interesting how, people either choose a very non-commercial bent or allow commercial content, and how you then weave in your own commercial content. And it is some real social wizardry to master that. The best way, by the way, is to go look at examples of groups you like, see how others do it, and then decide when you like it.
Exactly. Definitely follow and see what is out there. I know with the C method that we talk about, we actually go into it in a lot more depth about it's very clicky in groups. That if you're looking at other groups and you're trying to figure out, and we have a great story of someone who did just this as far as finding a group that they like and getting engaged in it. And I'm going to share my screen a little later today and show you what a really good group is. And you guys can go join it too. It's Women Entrepreneur Network that I participate in. So before we do that though, I know, Simon, we have a couple more things to cover, and then I'll share my screen and then we'll get our guests in.
Awesome. So I just thought at the end, it's always good to talk about the dark side, right? And so what are the challenges? I like the dark side. What are the challenges associated with groups? Well, again, you've got to be careful about mingling your commercial interests and the community in the community at large, and ensuring you don't violate your own policies or offend folks in that process. And at least be very clear in the charter of the group whether or not that's part of it. You can even form one group that's very interest-oriented and another group that's more product-oriented, and then cross-pollinate. It all works fine.
Absolutely.
You can do, there is this administrative burden, right? So you are all of a sudden a forum admin, and you got to do that work. Otherwise, there can be poison in the well and in your community. You got to get rid of that.
Definitely.
And then, creating content is challenging, and you need to engage an audience to help do that work. And, you've got to keep yourself motivated to continue it.
Most of our watchers are entrepreneurs, and they're determined and very, very committed to growing their business. So it's very easy to put your sight on what you are trying to accomplish, not to just think of it like I have to go manage this group or I have to go participate in groups, but what can I learn from it? What can I get out of it today? So if you put that mind frame when you start working with groups, it makes it much easier. So all of the ones that you said for challenges so far, Simon, I actually don't think are horrible. Creating content is challenging, but I really think that there's an easy way. I just did in our Momentum Studio group, we actually did a whole 1 hour power hour on creating content and brainstorming topics so that you can end up with a ton of content that all aligns with your business. So I'll share some of those resources with you guys. We are actively using groups as well. And so I'm going to actually share my screen on Facebook real quick so we can peek at a couple different examples. You can actually monetize your Facebook group as well, which is crazy, but you can. So I'm going to share this. And I see your comments in the chat. Definitely ask questions. I'm going to come back to it when we're all done. I promise I'm not ignoring you. All right. So we can see add to the stream. Okay. So this is Women Entrepreneur Network. It's a great group. If you haven't joined already, I know there's tons of information in here for business owners, but you can see that people are going live. They have questions that they're asking to get answers in poll. And I think, Simon, you mentioned that on one of your options of something that you can get from a group is to actually be able to poll people better, to ask survey questions and get their opinions. They actually do Groupie Friday, so you can share your group in that. So these are the kinds of content, but most of them Haley, the ones that are branded, you can tell are her scheduling them in, but they're mostly pre-scheduled. So she knows what day that's going to go out. And then people know that they can start, connecting with people. It's not huge. So engagement in groups is not, you're not going to get every single one of your people that are in that group always participating. Just know that in advance. but we do have, so she has, I don't know where this piece is. I'm going to try to find it. Sorry. There are slots that people can get to present. So when I said that there's monetizing opportunities, you can get a presentation slot at a certain time so that you can go live in this group of 60,000 people. And I can't find it. So that is a wonderful thing to do, though, is to just look through the group and make sure that you are looking at what type of people are in there. Now, if you're trying to grow your group, you can go into these groups and find people who are active, make friends, not just go get people to recruit them for your group, but go make friends and they will follow your group. Momentum Studio, which we have, you guys are more than welcome to check out. But the Momentum Squad, we committed to actually posting content on a daily basis. So we do have a schedule for ourselves. It's super helpful to have something like planned out so you know what's going to happen. I go live on Tuesdays in our group, and then it goes over to our main page so that I can reuse that resource, but it always goes live in our group first. And then we have, take the stage. Someone can come on and do a presentation. So I just wanted to share some of those. It works really well. And the group just, it builds all by itself. We don't have to push super hard to find people who want the content that we have in that group. All right.
Otherwise known as good work pays off quickly sometimes and efficiently. It's all work, and an entrepreneur's work and time is valuable. And it's just nice to see in groups that it can be so organic and powerful.
Right. Well, now we have two guests. Like I said, I am going to bring on Michael P. Ryan with Recite. And hi, Michael.
Hi, everybody. How are you doing?
Hi. Well, we've had you on before, but we're going to brag about you again. So Michael, tell us a little bit about your journey with groups.
Thanks for having me on again, by the way. Appreciate it. My journey with groups, I belong to a group, Recite. Initial intent was to solve a problem. So I was in several groups that, was about this problem. And I was, like Simon just mentioned, I was a moderator or a member for quite a while. And I went back one day and they had closed it. The admins didn't have the ability to hold up the workload with it. Which actually I found, now that I'm an administrator of it, because I volunteered to help out, I became a moderator, then became administrator. At the time I had, 11 or 12,000 individuals, members in the group. And now today it's 25,000. And while Simon was talking, it occurred to me, I have a breakoff group now for 1,000 people. So I have the main group, and then you have the opportunity to break off the more specific topics. So I have a break off group with specific topics, and it's worked out really well because it's I'm bringing back to the community, helping out individuals. I'm not pushing Recite on them. I'm still in a version 1 version. I'm not ready for mass huge release yet, so I'm not pushing it. And I'm just authentic, and everybody is recognition, I guess. So at the point when we're ready to do that, it'll be easier. I'm not a stranger.
Tell me how you think you're going to start to weave in like your identity as an entrepreneur and the fact that you're actually developing a product to address the interests of the community.
Well, I think, because I'm in the group and I have the ability, maybe I'll start doing some lives at some point. I actually think I'm going to do like a monthly, like you guys do, your weekly stuff. And I said to Tessa earlier, I think in the 3 years, I think I've only missed one live. So
No, I'm so impressed. Can I just say, I'm so impressed because that's commitment. He's put it on his schedule and he always shows up. Thank you.
Absolutely. So yeah, there's different methods, 80-20 rule. I think they say, you provide something for free, content, that kind of stuff, engagement, and then you you slip it. But the great thing about groups is you already know these people are interested in this topic. You can tell when the most active times are, when they're on, engagement, what works, the metrics, and the back end ability to read thing to give you the best opportunity to reach out your people. Is there. It's easy.
Absolutely. And there's ways, like you said, lives, you can actually offer a freebie or something that's going to help them, solve a problem. So it's if you wrap it into the right message, then it comes across as something that's going to solve their problem in a quick way, and they want that.
Yeah.
But if you guys are thinking, I'm just going to advertise to this group, you can't actually advertise to a group. Even if you're in the admin, you can't do ads inside your own group, which is interesting. So there is that little limitation, but you can post and then hope that post is going to see the most amount of people possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah, excellent. So is there any advice that you would give to our audience about running a group?
I don't know. Really, personally, I think you could start a group from scratch, because my breakoff group, I don't know for sure that comes from my main group, but I'm at 1,000 people, something, in there. So organically, Facebook, like Simon had mentioned, the titles, keywords, descriptions, all that stuff's important, because that's how people are going to find the group. And Facebook will recognize that the group isn't getting engagement, and just be consistent. Stick to your rules, like Simon mentioned, authentic, and do the work. There's really, for my 3 groups that I run, 27,000 people probably in the 3 of them like that. And every day, morning I get in there, approve posts, but the members, for the most part, regulate it themselves. They're self-governing because they want to be there. They're there for that topic, and they'll point out the problems immediately, and you just take care of it if that happens immediately. And
absolutely,
it's not too difficult.
I think, how long I know I asked this backstage, but how long do you think you have to manage it? How many hours a week or whatever?
Probably 10, 15 minutes a day. I do 10, 15 minutes in the morning, at the night, just because I know people are posting and they expect, they post, they don't want their post to wait 6 hours. They have a question. They want answers from their fellow community members and that kind of stuff. So you moderate that to make sure it goes in line with what we're trying to do in the group. And it's not bad. Obviously, I could probably do some more, but everything is what you put into it. Everything requires effort and trial and error, really, and that's what you see from the metrics. This post worked, this didn't, and this time worked.
I love it. I love it. And that's what you can watch in a group. If you don't have your own group, you can see what posts are getting people's reaction, how many comments it's getting, what types of things are they reacting to. You also, when you start doing these searches in groups and you can start seeing who's targeting that, what kind of ads are coming up. So there's so much you can learn, even if you're just taking an observation role, not an admin role. So I put the link to your group for Tribe Apps in the chats if you guys want to. Now, can you give us a little description of the app so we can drive the right people over there?
Sure. So yeah, the Tribe Apps group is it's called 42 Degrees. It's all here, is what it's called. And it's just at a company. And that one is not my big group. That's my smaller group. My big groups are private groups. But Recite essentially is intended to consolidate all methods of communication between individuals. It came from a terrible divorce, contentious divorce I had. Essentially, I had 9 lawyers, different jurisdiction, and I'd get all this information. And so think of your email box. I guess you get 200 emails in your email box, and only 3 of them are important. Well, Recite gives you the opportunity to put those 3 right up front center. The 197 are in the background. All those files from those 3 individuals that I want to share, consolidate with, it's structured. It's really easy OCD for communications, essentially.
I love it. I think it's the best thing ever. Like, and it doesn't have to be for a business or for a law situation. I mean, it could be for a PT, like a parent teacher association. It could be for anything where you're collecting lots of pieces of information from different people.
And I did. My primary use for this last 15 months through COVID-19 was the, millions of teacher emails, and I use it with my kids' soccer. She's did soccer leagues and all that kind of stuff. So all that stuff's up right in front and center. I don't miss it. I know where it is. No, it's working out great. I'm really excited. Version 2.0 is coming very soon. And
Yes.
It's some pretty nice stuff.
One thing too with the apps is that you can use a group for your beta testers. So it creates this nice little containment unit for people to give you their feedback, and it's not immediately public and being shared out. So it's a nice way to engage your audience, keep them active, and maybe even give them challenges. It was part of a website launch. It was a huge website launch. They had a private Facebook group, and you could go in and participate in activities in there. And they actually did a cash prize type thing. So if you participated during certain, tried certain activities and told them if it worked, you got entered into contests to win. So for beta testing for apps, even for products, because again, it's a controlled environment, it would work really well for that. So thanks so much, Michael. We appreciate you being here. And if you guys haven't checked out Recite, get into the group so you can see when the 2.0 version comes out for sure. All right. And then we're going to get Katy in here. Bye, Michael. Thank you. All right. Miss Katy Thompson, how are you?
Hi, good.
Good. I'm so glad you're here. I love Katy's Facebook group. It is awesome. She is hilarious, and she just is so authentic and real. And do you mind if I go ahead and put that in, Katy, for people? I'm going to put the Facebook group in there. But tell us a little bit about your experience.
My Facebook group is basically it's 12 years of terrible online dating, and it's just making fun of the online dating world. The reason that I've did this whole Facebook group to begin with is we've got an app. I'm an IdeaPros partner, and we have an app that's going to launch later this year and kind of disrupt the whole online dating world. But for now, my Facebook group is just collecting a base of people, that will eventually hopefully become customers. And, another reason why I started it was because Fred and Shark Tank, they keep telling you that investors, especially investors, and hopefully, your customers are really as interested in the person as they are the product, especially at first. So, I just want to throw my authentic self out there and have a couple of years of 90-second videos of me. So, when it comes down to it, it'll be pretty easy to say, hey, this is who I am and this is what I'm doing.
I love it. And she's so good. And the people are, your numbers are growing pretty quickly, I think. I've seen quite a few new people in your group.
Yeah, it's small. And like you said, it grows organically. I'm not out trying really. I don't market it that much. I'm in a couple of, again, it's going to be a dating app. So I'm in a couple of singles groups here locally. And, Tessa, like you said, when you get into these groups, you really need to study for a minute before you start posting, which I did. Thank you, Tessa, for the advice. Because of these two groups I'm in, one is super conservative and one is like anything goes. So you need to wait a second till you know who to engage with and what to post where. And then every couple of weeks, I'll kind of say, hey, why don't you put that story over here on my Facebook group? And it grows a little bit at a time, but it's fun.
I love the content because, we talk about content. It could be information or stats or videos like what Katy's doing. So she does little, what I call, she's like a 1-minute influencer. So she does these quick little clips. She captures you. She gets you and entertained every time I see it in my feed. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be great. Because this is what Katy brings every time. It's hilarious.
What horrible thing did you do on this week?
It's so awesome. And how often do you post right now in your group?
I'll do like a little video every couple weeks. And then, if I come across something funny that pertains to online dating, I'll post that as well. I try to keep it really centered on the focus of online dating funniness. But what I will tell people if you're going to jump into the short video clip world is just do it. Don't wait until your hair is perfect and your outfit is perfect and you're all polished like Tessa. Like I'm usually out looking horrible and I'll do a quick 90-second video and it doesn't matter. Just do it. Just post.
Just do it. And don't be afraid of the technology too. That's a big thing. A lot of people are like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. There's really literally a live button and you just push it and you say, I'm going live, push it again and you're off. Right. And you really can't, especially in you can always delete the videos. Yes, they're out there and there probably is some footprint of it, but it's half of the battle is just getting over your own fears. I've done this for a year and I can tell you that when I first started with Fred back in the beginning and when I was doing, even lives with Simon when we first started, I was nervous and it's gotten better. And that's a year later and I'm finally feeling like, okay, now I've got it. I know how this is going to work. Right. But just do it. Like Katy said, just do it. Is there any other advice that you would give to people about their groups or about participating in groups in general?
Just like the advice you gave me, like I said, find your group, find your tribe. There's so many groups on Facebook. It's asinine. So really be specific to if you're getting ready to launch a product or an app, find your very target people. Like I said, these people are all single and more specifically are having struggles on the current app situation. So
funny stories. That's what we say.
These people.
Oh, thank you so much. So guys, I put Katy's Facebook link in the chat. So definitely check that out. We have so many partners with the apps that are coming in. They'll have beta testing happening too. So you'll have opportunities to participate in more Facebook groups for beta testing. So keep an eye on these two, Michael P. Ryan and Katy Thompson. And we have so excited to hear your big stories, a couple months from now. We'll keep in touch with you guys.
Very cool.
Thank you. Okay. So Simon, thank you so much. I don't think we had a whole lot of questions, but I did want to go through and grab one particular one. So this one was, I'm in early app development early development of an app and doesn't need to let group members know exactly what they're doing. So how would you recommend in this case they would do, have an active group, but keep it on the down low?
Yeah, I'm a fan of brutal honesty in community building. So you can just say, look, I'm starting this group. I'm super interested in this. I'm so interested that experimenting with an app and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, but make it one of the things you're doing, not like the thing you're doing. And I think that helps. Where when you're brutally honest, the truth is always a great ally because you can always tell that story and know that you're consistent with everything else you've ever said, right? And that's just how I roll. And it's super cool when you can do that. And so, yeah, I would recommend just telling the truth and not being afraid of it and don't let it become a bugaboo later in the development of the group.
Excellent. Oh, Simon, this is interesting. Martin wants to say you have a voice for radio.
That's funny. I also, it turns out, sound like Dane Cook, apparently.
Yeah.
I have to be naughtier for that.
I can see that. Well, thank you all for being here. I don't see very many questions, but I am so glad you showed up, everyone, committing to our going live every Friday at noon Pacific time. So hit the bell before, actually, I'm going to let you go, Simon, because I know I'm holding you back, and I will talk in the chat for people here to get finish out the week. So
Thanks,
thank
everybody.
you, Simon.
Be well.
Thank you. All right, guys. So again, we're here every Friday at noon Pacific time, like Michael P. Ryan, who stayed with us every single week, except for one. I'm so impressed in 3 years. So we really appreciate all of our partners. We appreciate you entrepreneurs who are committed to growing your businesses and taking one step at a time, whether that's building a group or working on your budget or your marketing. All of that you can find over at IdeaPros.com/blog. Thank you so much, Hector. I appreciate you. I want to say, Chris, we have Sean Reed over there. Yeah, Sean's Sage Scheduler is also coming out. Sean, you should put your link in the chat for sure. And he's also in beta with his app coming out soon. So you can get on the list to get notified when he's beta testing. Vanessa, great to see you. I think I have a call with you momentarily, my dear. Donna Stewart, you guys, I really appreciate you committing and always being here. Hey, so Eclipse, hey, yep. So I know Eclipse was chatting with you, Katy, so I thought I would put that up on the screen for it. And so we have Barry, Kelly, thank you guys. Ernest, great to have you here. So we'll see you guys all next week. Have a wonderful holiday if you guys have time. Appreciate, all those who give for our country, everything that's going on right now. I just appreciate you guys being here. So have a blessed week. Bye, y'all.